Hello, my creepy lovelies, and welcome back to This Is How I Die. We're sure we're on chapter 10 now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're on chapter. So let's begin, shall we? This one is called Game On. Jane awoke the next morning to see June speaking with her doctor through the window in her door. She grabbed her phone and quickly sent a text to Micha that she was awake. Hey, are you up? Unfortunately. June is talking with my doctor right now. Makes sense. He's always been so practical. He's probably asking when you'll be able to go home so he can convince you to stay with him while you recover. And am I supposed to agree to that? I still have school, you know. Don't be such a square. But yes, you need to turn him down because moving too fast could be suspicious. So just say that you appreciate the offer but need to focus on your studies. And that won't be suspicious to him since I'm supposed to be a party girl? Not if you bring your mom into it. Aunt. Whatever. The one who raised Sue, all right? Just tell him that you want to prove to her that you can do this. Sue was surprisingly prideful, so he'll buy it. My stomach is in knots. Your stomach? I had 6 shots of Jaeger last night. I'm lucky to be coherent at all. What if he's able to tell that I'm not my sister? He's known her forever and is crazy about her. True and true. But I told you before it's because he's so crazy about her that he won't be able to tell. He wants Sue's love more than anything in the world. So even though something might nag at the back of his mind and tell him that something is up with you, he'll willingly ignore it as long as it means that you, Sue, will be his. You have a diabolical mind. Aw, thanks. That wasn't a compliment. Really? Seemed like one to me. Look, just get June to talk about your night together, okay? I'll take care of the rest. What does that mean? Don't worry about it. Just focus on June. Jane grunted in irritation and put her phone away once she saw June turning towards the door. Her muscles relaxed when he faced the doctor again, and she quickly made her way to the bathroom. She splashed her face with water and quickly brushed her teeth before smoothing her hair back and rushing back to bed, where she pretended to be just waking up once she heard June coming in. Jane stretched out with a fake yawn as June sat down beside the bed. Smiles. So, you being here wasn't just a dream. How are you feeling, Sue? Your doctor said your test came back negative. Well, that's not a surprise. I'm usually always failing at tests. June smirked at her remark while his eyes scanned over her face, making her nervous. Jane sat up and cleared her throat. How exactly are you able to ask the doctor anything about my condition anyway? June blushed a little and tensed his jaw. I told him I was your brother. Jane snorted and dropped her head. Classic Junie. Are you mad? She looked back up at him. Why would I be mad? Because I sort of invaded your privacy. And I know how you are about that. Jane swore to herself in her mind, hoping that her not behaving how Soo-young would have in that moment wouldn't alarm June. She tucked some stray hairs from her ponytail behind her ear. Well, I guess I'm too happy about seeing you to be mad. June's eyes stretched in surprise. You are? Roll's eyes. Well done, Junie. You are my oldest friend, and it's been forever since we last talked. Which I'm sorry for, by the way. No, Sue, don't be sorry. It's my fault. Your fault? How? The doctor said you must have contracted some sort of infection that lay dormant in you for the past couple of years. Jane shrugged to let him know she didn't understand his point. I had all kinds of drugs and alcohol there. You likely caught whatever you did at my party. Shake said, No, June, the doctor told me that it's impossible to tell exactly when or how I got sick with this infection. She grabbed June's hand. So I'm not going to have you blaming yourself. Got it? June looked down at their hands and stroked the backs of Jane's fingers with his thumb. Sue, the doctor said that your fever was so bad it might have caused brain damage. Yeah, he told me that when I first woke up. But he also said there's no damage that he can see. But you can tell there's something off, right? Like with your memory? Yeah, there are some things I can't remember. Like what happened at my party? Jane looked down at their hands and frowned thoughtfully while she carefully chose her words, making sure to imitate her twin as best she could. I remember fighting with my mom, drinking a lot, dancing with Emmy and Mimi. Oh, and Austin, too. June's eyes went wide and he raised a brow. You danced with Austin? Jane felt a pit in her stomach and let go of June's hand to wave off his question. Oh, it was harmless, really. Austin's all talk when he flirts with Mimi, Emmy, and me. June's face tensed at the thought of Austin touching Soo-young as Jane continued telling him everything Micha recalled about what Soo-young did at the party. Some of it's fuzzy, but yeah, I do remember having a blast, laughing, dancing, drinking, and enjoying your party favors. June was quiet for a moment as he felt sad from thinking that she only remembered what she had just told him about that night. I see. Jane scooted closer to him. I also remember going up to your room before I ran out of the party. I'm sure I complained about my mom, but I don't really remember what we talked about, just what we did together. June swallowed and felt his heart begin to race. You do? Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a blur, but I do remember how it felt when you touched me and kissed me. Jane touched his arm and made love to me. June's mouth parted and he let out a short breath of laughter while Jane rubbed his arm. Sue, I'm grateful you're here because now I get to tell you how sorry I am for running out that night like I did. You didn't deserve that. I feel like I messed up everything between us with how badly I treated you. June laid his hand over Jane's hand that was on his arm. No, you didn't mess up anything between us. I admit, I was really hurt that you chose not to talk to me for 2 years, and especially after you told me that our night together meant nothing. But I think I get it now. You were just hurting over your mom kicking you out and scared of ruining our friendship. Jane was about to respond when she and June both noticed someone suddenly standing in the doorway. Jane's brows pulled together when she saw it was Micha, but then both June and Jane looked shocked to see she was holding up her phone with the screen facing them, and on the screen was Imani FaceTiming her. Jane pulled her hand away from June. I came to check on Sue and thought seeing both me and Emmy would perk her up, but it looks like she's all perked out. Jane eyed Micha, feeling mad that she had hurt Imani by having her over here the truth of what happened between Soo-young and June on their grad night, despite June denying that they had ever been together. Micha turned the phone back around to herself so Imani would be looking at her instead. Shrugs. Sorry, girl. Sue is busy at the moment, so you'll have to FaceTime her some other time. Imani nodded her head once and immediately ended the call. Micha grimaced and tissed while putting her phone away. Well, she didn't look happy. Nice to see you, June. Sue, I'll come back to visit you later when you're free, eyes them both. Jane glowered at Micha before Micha left, and June sat back in his chair and ran a hand down his face in frustration. I'm sorry, June. You should probably go call Emmy. June gave her a look. Why would you suggest that? Jane panicked inside when she realized she wasn't supposed to know about him and Imani. She clicked her tongue as she thought of a reasonable explanation. Come on, June. I've known you all my life, and you started sweating bullets when you saw Emmy's face on the phone. June smirked and leaned forward to rest his elbows on the bed. I guess I made it obvious that she and I are together. Beyond obvious. Were you trying to keep it secret or something? We sort of were for a while, but everyone else found out the other day, so I guess it doesn't make sense to try and keep it from you. Why were you hiding your relationship in the first place? Because it's still new, and we're going to different schools, and we didn't want to jinx it. Always the romantic. You can visit with me later, Junie. Go fix things with Emmy. June eyed her for a second before sighing and getting up. You're right. I'll be back later tonight if that's okay with you. Just as long as you bring me something tasty to eat. The food here is way too bland. All right, but only if your doctor says it's okay. Pouts. Goody two-shoes. June smiled over her teasing and left. Micha came in shortly after and sat in his chair with her legs crossed and a huge smile on her face. That timing couldn't have been better if I had planned it. I mean, I thought I was going to have Emmy catch you guys being all cuddled up or something for sure. But to have her hear June admit that he did it with Sue, after always telling us that he didn't, was the chef's kiss. Jane threw a pillow at her, and Micha gasped when it hit her in the face and messed up her bangs. She ran her fingers through her bangs to fix them before tossing the pillow back at Jane, who caught it. Rude. Stop taking joy in your friend's pain. Rolls eyes. I'm not taking joy in anyone's pain. I'm just happy that our plan is working out so good and so quickly. Do you care at all about how upset both Imani and June must be right now? Micha held up a finger. First off, it's Emmy. Always Emmy, girl. How many times do I have to tell you that? And second, Emmy and June don't belong together anyway, so we're doing her a favor. You're a heartless harpy, says the girl who murdered her sister. Jane threw her hands up. It was an accident. Tomato, potato. Either way, Sue is worm food and you're stuck being her. You're disgusting. Shrugs. It is what it is. I miss Sue and I'm sorry that Emmy is hurting, but it'll all work out for the best so long as you play your part. Now, what happened after I left? Sighs. June obviously felt bad, so I called him out on it. Micha slapped her arm. Hey! Hello, genius. None of us has spoken to Sue in 2 years. How would she know that June and Emmy are an item? Jane angrily rubbed her arm that was throbbing where Micha had hit her. She would know because she knows June. I told him that I could tell he felt guilty after seeing that you were FaceTiming Emmy. Micha blew out dramatically through her lips. I guess that's plausible. Yeah, he seemed to buy it. Then I told him to go call Emmy, and he said he'd be back later, and we had some playful banter about him bringing me something good to eat. Jane got defensive when she noticed how intense Micha looked while she stared at Jane. Why are you looking like that? Sue wouldn't have told him to go talk to Emmy. Blinks twice. What? Micha clasped her hands together. Sue would have acted aloof about the whole thing and told June that Emmy would get over it. And she would have told June to sneak her some alcohol, not food. I swear you're going to get us caught before this whole thing has even really started. Jane shot Micha the wildest look of disbelief, making Micha hunch her shoulders at her. What's with the face? You and my sister were seriously two peas in a hellish pot. Both just cruel, hateful, opportunistic hoes. Oh, goodness. Micha held up a finger and grinned. Don't forget alcoholic partiers while you're at it. I hate you. Wish I never picked up the phone when you called. Well, you did, and now you're stuck with me until you become Mrs. Junie, so suck it up. Micha got up and headed for the door. Where are you going? I have classes to sleep through and parties to attend. Plus, I need to make sure things between Emmy and June go completely sour in a timely fashion. Jane scowled at Micha, who winked and blew her a kiss in return to tease her. I'll be in touch. Jane shoved a pillow into her face and screamed out of frustration once she was alone. Second thoughts about tricking June into marriage, making her feel queasy. Oof. Yeah. I feel like we're getting closer, guys, so I will see you guys next time for part 11.